Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Leah and this is my 4-month Roaccutane update. So I've now been on Roaccutane for 4 months and I've decided not to do the daily vlogs anymore, mostly because I've got to the point now where I'm not seeing enough daily change for that to be a worthy thing to do. So instead I thought I would just kind of do a roundup video at the end of each month just to update on how my progress is going. What I thought I'd do is first talk about my acne itself, any changes, is it working, is it not working, and then once I've covered that I will go on to any side effects that have increased since I went up a dose, or things that are fine. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So skin wise, I am finally starting to see a difference to my skin. Because I was started off on such a low dose in January, the first 2 months of being on Roaccutane I was told were the equivalent of just 3 weeks treatment. So I've had quite a slow start. Whatever the opposite to a head start is, that's what I've had. So it's no wonder that I'm only just starting to see any difference. I am still getting new spots, so it's not completely gone yet. I'm still getting new spots every couple of days. That said, there's far less of them, fewer of them, than I was getting before treatment and at the start of treatment. Around kind of end of month 2, start of month 3, my acne actually started getting worse. I'd gone up from 1 tablet to 2 tablets, which is still fairly a low dose, and I felt that my acne was getting worse. I usually get spots in kind of clusters, so I have loads of spots all close together, whereas I'd noticed that around that point my acne had kind of changed. Rather than having clusters of spots, I was having massive spots kind of spaced out across my face. I had a massive one here that I could not get rid of, and they were just coming up in massive boils. They wouldn't necessarily be those under the skin ones, they were still coming out, and they would come out into quite a big whitehead. If I squeezed it, it would just come back. I'm trying not to touch my spots and I'm trying not to squeeze them if I can help it, but they were very painful, so I felt that I needed to squeeze them to get rid of the pain, but then it would just come back. However, since I've gone up a dose again to 3 tablets, which was about a month ago, I have definitely noticed some improvement finally. It's only really over the last week or so, and I'm a little bit late filming this video, so it is kind of bang on the 4-month mark that I have finally started to see some improvements in my skin. Like I said, I am still getting new spots here and there, but generally it's just maybe one there and one there, rather than loads everywhere. So I am really glad to finally be seeing progress. I have also noticed that my pores have tightened up a little bit. I've always struggled with having really enlarged pores, and I feel like now that's not so visible. So I'm beginning to wonder maybe they were so big because they were clogged with grease and oil. I don't really know, but that's just something that I've noticed. So my skin is starting to look a lot more clear now. It's not so sore, because during most of my experience with acne, I've had a very sore face. It's sore to touch. So all in all, I am really happy to finally be seeing some progress with my skin, and I really hope that that continues and that it doesn't all come crashing down again. So I wanted to kind of speak about kind of side effects as well that I've been having, and side effects that have definitely increased since I went up to 3 tablets, which was about a month ago. First of all, as expected, the dryness in my skin has definitely increased. I'm finding that my skin is much drier than it was, and I thought I was already struggling with dry skin. It's got to the point now where my skin is constantly itchy. I am itching my arms and my legs all the time. But because my skin has become so fragile from the Roaccutane treatment, just scratching an itch just briefly just rips my skin to shreds. And sometimes I don't realise that it's happened, and maybe I'm just watching TV, or I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of scratching away, and then I'll look down at my ankle, and there's blood everywhere. So I've now kind of found that I am covered in scabs, so it's mostly kind of bony areas, like my ankles are really bad, my ankles and feet, and kind of, I mean, I do have it on my arms as well. I'm just finding scabs everywhere where I've scratched it and made it bleed. I have been moisturising, but that doesn't seem to do it. The moisturiser that I've been using is one that the dermatologist recommended, and also there's another one as well that I've been using, but I'm going to go into that in a separate video that I'm going to be making, which is all about products that are really helping me during my Roaccutane treatment and kind of my skincare routine whilst I'm on Roaccutane. So stick around and maybe hit subscribe if you want to see that video when it's ready. So yeah, I've definitely got very dry skin now, and I can't seem to be able to keep on top of that with moisturisers. My hands are not as bad as I thought they'd be. Before I started Roaccutane, despite having obviously quite oily skin on my face that was obviously causing acne, I've always had really dry hands, and I don't know if it's some kind of dermatitis or something, but I get quite dry skin on my hands. It cracks and sometimes bleeds, but that has not been as bad as I thought it would be, so I'm quite surprised actually at how okay that is. I mean, it's still not great, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I've still kind of got some scabs and things on my hands, but it's just not as bad as I thought it would be. And to be honest, most of the scabs and things are from itching the dry skin. Whilst we're kind of on the lines of my skin drying out, I've actually developed a really itchy scalp. I did catch myself in the viewfinder scratching my head a minute ago, so I'm sorry because it's so dry. And actually, because I've always been such a greasy, oily person, I've never been somebody that would have dandruff sometimes, and this is going to sound gross, but I'm going to be really frank with you here. I am now one of those people who can scratch their head and see snow. So that's definitely very different for me. And I've also noticed that my hair is now really, really dry. I've never been somebody who has dry hair. In fact, I've always been quite the opposite. Despite my hairdresser's advice at trying to go as long as possible without washing it, I've always been somebody who needs to wash their hair every other day. I tried to go longer, but I have to use dry shampoo for that third day because I've always had really greasy hair. But yeah, I've always struggled with having hair that's too greasy, but now it's the complete opposite and I don't like it. I like that I don't have to wash my hair so often. I have become one of those people now who only needs to wash it once a week because it doesn't get greasy, and that's quite extraordinary actually for me. But that said, it doesn't feel nice. It feels really dry. I put my hair up in a bun this morning and it didn't feel nice to touch. Now that I've brushed it and straightened it, it feels a lot softer. So it may just be that I'm not giving it enough care, but I've never really known the feeling of dry hair until now, which might sound a little bit strange. Now, the biggest side effect for me since going up a dose is nosebleeds. When I was first put on Roaccutane back in January, I was warned of the most common side effects. So I was warned that my lips would dry out, I was warned that I could get headaches and that my mood could be affected, and I was also warned about nosebleeds. I think I have mentioned in a previous Roaccutane video that although I hadn't had any kind of running nosebleeds, again, I'm going to be really frank and honest and open. You might think that what I'm saying is gross, but it is just part of Roaccutane treatment. Despite the fact that I haven't had any kind of running nosebleeds, I've constantly got blood up my nose. I've constantly got kind of, I can't believe I'm about to say this on YouTube, but I've constantly got blood bogies up my nose, but I hadn't had any full-blown nosebleeds. And that was until a couple of weeks ago I had my first big nosebleed, and it just didn't stop happening. So I've started getting really bad nosebleeds. The second day of having, it wasn't 2 consecutive days, but the second time then that I had a nosebleed, I had 2 in one day, and they are quite bad. It's not just like, oh, wipe your nose with a tissue and you're fine, and it's I'm having really bad nosebleeds and they're going on for about 10 minutes. I'm mentioning this because I presume it's from Roaccutane treatment. So the reason that Roaccutane can cause nosebleeds is because it dries out the inside of your nose. If you've seen my previous videos, you've seen how very dry my lips got from the Roaccutane treatment. And when I had my last appointment, she explained to me that if I think how dry my lips are, that is how dry the inside of my nose is. So I'm presuming that it's because of that. I do have actually a telephone appointment with dermatology later on today, because obviously no face-to-face appointments at the moment because of COVID. So I will be mentioning it to her then. But yes, I'm getting real bad nosebleeds, and that's definitely a very recent thing. So it's definitely only since I went up a dose to 3. Other than those things, I don't have any new side effects to report. Obviously my lips are still extremely dry all the time, but I make sure that I apply my lip balm as often as possible. I'll keep topping up throughout the day. It was actually recommended to me by the dermatology nurse that I apply it every 20 to 30 minutes, and if I don't do that, I definitely notice that my lips just feel really dry. But other than that, I haven't really had any other problems. I'm pleased to say that my migraines / headaches have not been any worse, because that was a massive concern for me when I first went onto Roaccutane, because I'm already prone to headaches and migraines. So going onto a tablet that gives lots of people headaches and migraines, I got really worried. But actually they haven't been any worse since I've gone up a dose, because I did feel that when I first got put on it, my migraines and headaches have got worse, but actually as I've gone up a dose, I don't feel that it's got any worse at all. In fact, I think the headaches that I've been having lately, I'm putting it down to dehydration, because it's boiling hot outside, and I'm not drinking enough, and that's my own fault. So I'm really pleased to report that that's been fine, and my mood has been absolutely fine. Roaccutane can affect people's mood, but I think there has been a bit too much focus kind of in the media on what Roaccutane does to your mood, because I was scared to go on it, because I mean, I won't go into it in detail, but I have had kind of a few issues with kind of mood related stuff. So I was very nervous to then go on to a medication that is known to make that worse, but actually it was explained to me that it doesn't affect a lot of people like that. It obviously does affect some people like it, and unfortunately some people have experienced, you know, mental health problems as a result of Roaccutane, but it's very few people that it has that effect on. And don't panic about the things that people say about it affecting your mood. So overall, I'm doing well, and I'm really glad that I'm starting to see some difference with my skin finally, and I'm coping with the side effects apart from the nosebleeds, because they're so sudden and unpredictable. Something ironic is that I've tried to film this video and it would have been up on time, but I had to stop filming because suddenly my nose started bleeding really badly. So that's a bit of irony for your day. So I do hope that this video was helpful and informative. If you do have any questions at all, if you're somebody that's about to start Roaccutane treatment or who is just starting, please feel free to leave a comment. Obviously I only speak from my own experience, and everybody experiences the side effects and the whole journey differently, but if there is anything that I can help you out with, then just give me a shout, because I personally found it really helpful to watch other people's Roaccutane videos when I was first starting. I really hope that this video might have been helpful or informative to some of you. As I said before, I am going to be uploading a video very soon about the products that are really helping me on Roaccutane, and kind of my Roaccutane skincare routine actually. So if you want to stick around for that, then please do hit subscribe, and also to kind of follow me on the rest of my Roaccutane journey. I hope that you're all doing really well and staying safe. I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.